So there's no swearing on the podcast. So if you want to swear,
I can get it out now?
Yeah, get it.
Okay. Well, it's not bad. It's not bad.
I think that's a swear word still.
Okay. All right, there we
Okay,
go.
you're good.
now.
Good.
I'm good.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Sam, your resident fantasy reader,
And I'm Morgan, your romance reader, and we welcome you to Just One More Page.
where it's never just one more page.
Hi guys, welcome back to another episode. And this is my first week without Sam, so it's a little bit awkward. It's going to be a little bit weird. But today I actually thought I would have on one of my closest friends. I mean, I guess I like her. I guess I like her. Anyways, I'm having on one of my closest friends, and her name is Rosie. Want to say hi?
Hello.
And I thought I would have on someone I'm close with, someone who I can see in person as my first guest. So it's easier to kind of go into having a bunch of guests, because if you're not aware, Sam is having her baby, a little nugget named Clayton, and she's going to be having it. And so I'm going to be having some guests on. And my first guest this week is Rosie. And this week we're going to be talking about a book that I've been teased so many times for. Because listen, I read this book one time in
And then she bought it for me as a joke.
It was a joke.
I've read 12 of them.
I know. We're going to be reading The Barbarian's Mate by Ruby Dixon. Anyways, I found the first book obviously because of TikTok, but also because of the fact that I was part of this online book club. And on the online book club, they were like, hey, let's read Barbarian's Planet. I don't remember the first one's
Barbarian's
Planet.
Yeah.
I read it and I was like, well, first off, let me just be honest with you. I saw the cover of it and I was like, that's weird, but whatever. I don't think it's going to be that bad. I read it and I was traumatized. And I remember we were in the car together and I was like, Rosie, listen to this book. And then I got you the first book and then you read 12. You literally have scarred your whole family.
I have, because I like to do Audible and I don't realize how loud it is. And they're like, what are you listening to?
I'm sorry. But
you should be
today
sorry. It's my family.
I know. I need to pay money or something. Today we're going to be discussing The Barbarian's Mate, which is the 5th book in the Barbarian series. Do you want to tell my viewers why you chose it and what's it about?
I love all of them, and they're all really different. But this one right here, for some reason, I just really like the characters. I can kind of relate to them a little more, especially Josie. I just love her story and just her need for love, and she's never really had love. Even though there's very spicy moments, it has a very beautiful romantic love story.
A little spicy moments. Listen,
It's a lot of spicy moments, but there's a lot of love.
We're going to talk about that baby carriage later
Oh.
on.
That was very creative, actually. I'm just saying.
I was like, where's this going?
You knew.
I don't have a disgusting mind like you. So this book follows Josie, right?
Yep.
And Josie resonates with the one man that she doesn't want to resonate, or the one.
She's the last human that hasn't resonated to anyone, and the reason why is because she has an IUD that's still inside of her.
So, do you want to back it up and say what resonate, what it is, what
you have this parasite, which they like to call cootie,
mm-hmm.
that they have to, cootie, that they have to put in you in order for you to survive in this ice planet. And it basically heals you. It turns your eyes blue where they're glowing, and it lets you be able to withstand the freezing weather that this planet has. But then on top of that, it also will basically find your soulmate. Sometimes when you resonate to someone, it's not who you thought it was.
Yeah.
Which is, in this case, it's the one person that she really despised, that he was always mean to her and pick on her and just really hard on her. So she just she wanted anybody but Haeden.
So it's a bunch of women who crash onto this ice planet, mm-hmm. and they're taking that parasite to survive, and then they get mated.
Yeah, and they crashed on this planet because they were abducted by these other aliens that are really bad. I think it's 2 different species of aliens, abduct humans, and they crashed on this amazing planet that I would love to crash on.
This amazing planet that you're like, okay.
Minus the cold. I hate cold weather like that.
Yeah.
Minus the cold. Everything about this planet sounds
Great. So, did you enjoy this book? And if you were to rate it, what would you rate it?
4.5 stars.
And why did you like it so much? Like, just because of the love story in it, or do you like the characters, or the plot development?
All the above.
All the above?
Yeah, I liked it all. This one's my favorite one out of the 12.
12 you read?
Don't
worry. There's 25 books.
There's 20. Yeah, I got 13 more to go.
And I also looked it up, and there's a bunch of, like, I don't know if you read them. They're novellas. You know what a novella is?
Yeah.
They're short stories.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's tons of novellas.
Yeah.
And also there's spin-offs.
Yep. Yeah, no, I had to take a break because you saw I was like obsessively listening to them back to back to back on Audible. And then finally I was like, I need to listen to something different.
Like every book is kind of this similar kind of thing.
Kind of, but like surprisingly, she does, like, the author does such a good job, just completely, like, each book is just takes you a completely different direction, like completely different characters that you can like relate to, because like there's other characters I can kind of relate to as well, but these two just were my favorite. I like their chemistry.
Do you hear the thunder?
Is that what that
yes.
is? I like
is it.
It should be like a Halloween
episode. But it's not raining. It's sunny outside, right?
It's like 6 months to Halloween.
Is it raining?
No.
Why is it thundering? Okay. If we die, we die.
Yep.
So for me, you think I wouldn't like it because I don't read spicy novels. As much as you like to tease me and saying that I like to read spicy novels.
That's funny because you have a gift though. She always accidentally picks one up, but she truly doesn't.
It's not
care
my
for
fault.
them as much as I like them. She does not.
It's not my fault that they all have cute covers and I pick them up and I'm like, ooh, pretty. And I'm like reading it and it'll be like his wasting cock. And I'm like, what?
But, see, I know you're a sucker for a love story.
Yes.
So that's why I chose this, because I knew that you would
like it.
Yeah, you would like you would be traumatized at times, but then
I would like it.
Then you would like the love story and be like, oh, okay.
Yeah. So I actually, surprisingly enough, really liked the book.
What did you rate it?
I rated it 4 stars too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So at first I wasn't really quite a fan of Josie. I felt like Josie at times was really much an annoying character.
Me.
And yeah, and like I got very frustrated with her, and there is a slow burn romance to this, and it does take a while for them to actually get together and get past their misunderstandings. But like at that point when I was reading in the beginning, I think I even like texted you. I was like, this is me right now. And it was like a gif of like someone saying like, just kiss.
Yeah, I
like,
know.
Like I was like, just get together. But towards the end, when you understand all the stuff that has happened in their past, you understand them more and you understand where they're coming from.
Yeah, and all the misunderstandings.
Yeah.
That they keep
and
having.
I actually was really quite surprised that there was quite a bit of not sexual action, but action, like actual action.
Yeah.
Which made the book for me a lot more enjoyable.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the angst in it and I love the drama in it. And those are the type of books I actually really like reading, is when the book's actually, it's not all about like romance or falling in love. It's like there's angst to it. There's like stuff.
Yeah, because even though like I said, I'm all for a good spicy book, if it's just all spice and raunchy and there's no like love story or action and suspense, like other elements to the story, then I'm not gonna like it. Like if it's just, which is what I thought the first one was gonna be when you got it from me as a joke.
Yeah.
But then when there was actually a love story, I was like,
I
must continue.
You're like, the smeshy part.
And you're like, it's a joke. I was like, not to me.
And I even got you like t-shirts.
Oh yeah, I have. Yeah, thanks to Morgan, I have like not only so many books already, but I also have 2 t-shirts.
2 t-shirts
that nobody but me and a few people.
Well, I think someone asked you before, like, "What's that shirt?" And you're like, "Nothing."
One person. Yeah. But yeah, they didn't even know. They were just like, "What is that?" I'm like, "No,
nothing.
It's nothing. Beautiful planet."
This beautiful planet where I want to be.
Where I want to crash at.
Where I want to go.
Yep.
So I guess we're going to go into our spoiler section. If you'd like to read this book, Barbarian's Mate, please go do so. If not, please enjoy this chaoticness of me blushing and screaming and talking about this book, because I don't do well with spicy books. It makes me, my cheeks, I feel like my cheeks are red right now.
Already.
Spoilers ahead. And yeah, so what do you like to talk about first, Rosie?
Let me look at my little crappy notebook. Morgan's very organized. You guys should see her little what is this,
iPad?
Your little iPad
full of notes,
bullet
points.
Bullet points. It's beautiful. I have looks like a serial killer wrote in here. So basically she's very upset and depressed because her IUD will not fall out, and everybody else has mated, and she's just very lonely. She's really good with all the babies and children that have been born, and she wants a family.
Yeah.
In the beginning of the book, her IUD falls out and she doesn't realize what it is.
I thought IUD is like in your arm.
That's what I thought too, but
I
looked it up. I believe it's like that little thing looks like a Y.
That's what I thought, but I thought it went in your arm.
I think it can also go up your hoo-ha.
Okay, well, I'm assuming it would go up her hoo-ha because it popped out of there.
Yeah, it fell out of her hoo-ha because of her cootie.
Her cootie.
Her cootie like helped it, yeah, but she didn't realize what it was. She's like, what is this? And then when she realized what it was, she immediately goes and she starts like all the single men that haven't mated yet. She's like hanging around them and just waiting for her.
Yeah.
Oh, because your cootie, by the way, it purrs.
Like
it
a
makes
cat.
It like a cat. And it just will not. And she's just like so frustrated that it like will not do it. And I don't know if you took these notes. I don't remember exactly when it starts with Haeden. Do you remember?
She goes to each person in the caves.
And it wouldn't.
And it wouldn't go. And then she hears it. And she like,
that's
because
right,
she thought it was someone
yeah.
else. She thought it was someone else. And she's like,
all excited looking
She's like,
around.
yeah.
And it was him. And they both like kind of stop and stare at each other. And she's so upset.
I think in the past books, I did other research before we read this book. In the past books, he has not been the nicest to her. He has been super rude to her, super, like, I think there's one thing where he called humans weak, and she's very much like, you're a dick.
Yeah.
I don't like you.
But do you remember why? Like what it says, why he was doing all that? Like, she literally,
So the reason why it's doing all that, and I kind of took a note on that, is because in the past, well, first off, Haeden has lots of insecurities. Like, after all, he resonated with a older woman who has already had a lover. So he has already had a soulmate before, and this soulmate rejected him, had a lover, refused him, and kept sleeping with the other person that she loved. On top of that, she would make fun of him.
Yeah.
And like laugh at him and make like him feel like not the best. Now it's raining.
Oh, it's raining now. Yep.
I saw a flash of lightning. I got scared. I was like, ah! On top of that, his mate made him sick.
A bunch of people got really sick and died. And then poor Haeden, his parents
died.
His parents died. The older woman that he resonated to and her lover also died. So then he was left with the feeling the loss of his like soulmate. So he just had a real crappy experience with it. I don't know if you remember them touching on this part. The reason that he was always she took it as him being mean and picking on her and just being ridiculous. He immediately felt a connection with her.
Yes.
Which, if you remember in the first book, Georgie and God, what is it? Vector and Georgie, that's the first book. They had a connection and she didn't even have a cootie yet. So you can resonate or feel something already and not sure what it is.
Yeah.
So the reason he didn't like straight up resonate and his chest didn't start purring was because she had the IUD, but he felt that protection and connection with her. So that's why he was always like that, because she's very like outgoing and she'll like go out and do stuff. To him, she's like this small fragile human. So he was always so grumpy and such a dick, basically, because he was being protective.
Yeah.
But she took it as in he was just an a-hole.
Also, on top of that, though, she wants those words of affirmation. Like she wants him to be like, I love you, I want to be with you, whatever. But he's more so like, I will show you that I love you. Like, I'll take care of you. I'll do all these things for you. And I think there's one part in the book in which she's like, said like, oh, I love you, whatever. And he doesn't know what to say back. And she's like, like she basically tells him like, I want you to tell me stuff like this.
Yeah, because she needs it. So they both have been dealt like crappy cards in their life.
Yeah.
Because she had a horrible childhood.
She was foster child, so she would go to foster homes, and then she got sexually assaulted by some of her foster parents. Just
real horrible like experience with love and with sex. I think her physical, was it love language? Is not only is it touch, it's also words of affirmation. And Haeden, he's all about touch. So that's why I can relate to her, because my love language is touch.
What? I would never know.
But I also need words of affirmation. Like, definitely if you show me, like, that'll definitely, like, I'll be understanding if you're not very good at expressing it like verbally. But I definitely need that too.
Yeah.
I just do. Like,
yeah.
you know,
I think that there's tons of miscommunication in the beginning, which led them to having a really rough relationship. But I definitely think that once they were able to get past that and for him to learn about her past and her to learn about his past, like I got a little bit annoyed with her because she's like, did your mate and you do this? Did you do that with your mate? Because she's jealous.
Yeah.
But after they got past that, they actually had a pretty good relationship.
They really did.
Yeah.
They really did. And like one of the things that I really love, and the writer really knows how to get to women's like hearts and stuff, is that these alien, what is it, Sakui, when they resonate to someone, they completely like take care of their women. Like if their women are going and want to hunt and stuff, they're so understanding where they'll be fine with that. But at the same time, they're just like so protective. Like they'll cook, like lay out.
They do everything a woman would want.
Everything a woman would want. Everything. They're so like understanding. And if we're gonna get to the spice. Can we get to
yes, we can get to the spice.
Okay. So Sakui, they didn't know anything about making out and kissing and stuff. So the humans have taught them that. On top of that, they weren't huge on oral, especially the woman giving the man oral. So that just opened up a whole new whatever. Something about the Sakui men, if you haven't read any of the books, they're very like tall, muscular. They're like what, 7 feet tall?
Yeah.
They're like 7 feet tall. They're very muscular, like beautiful bodies. Like
they have horns.
They have horns, no ounce of fat. They have like a tail, and they are very well hung down there. And then they have something that's called a spur that doesn't really have, like, it kind of feels good if you touch it, but it really just doesn't have a purpose. Or at least they thought it didn't, because it doesn't really do anything for the Sakui women. But humans have what they like to call a third nipple, but it's really our clitoris. So what
Is that what it was?
Yeah, that's what every time they said third nipple, it's the clitoris.
I was confused.
So when one of the Sakui men mate with a human, the spur rubs on the...
I'm blushing!
So I can't
look at you right now.
Okay, Dixon, you know what you're doing, girl. Because when you read those parts, you're like, oh, okay, rabbit.
I can't look at you right now.
Sorry. It's a spicy book. We had to eventually. She's so upset that she resonated to him. She just, the funny misunderstanding on the ship that you love.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Tell them that.
Okay.
That's funny.
Okay, so we're going to back it up a little bit. So prior, she wants to get her thing taken out of her cootie, whatever it's called, taken out. And honestly, that's kind of like selfish and kind of shitty considering the fact all the stuff that he's been through, but he like loves her so much and he like wants her to be happy that he's like, we're gonna take it out. Like if that's what you want, we're gonna take it out.
Yeah, because if the mothership, if the medical section is working, they're able to fix you up or take the parasite out. So she's wanting it taken out and a new one put in because she needs one to survive. But she's thinking if that happens, there's a good chance that she'll resonate to someone else. Not caring that he's going to be left because he doesn't want to remove his, that he's going to be left still resonated to her and suffering.
Which is honestly like, I think that in her mind, she's very self-centered sometimes. And she's very much like, this is what I want. Not even thinking about the fact that his like old mate basically did the same thing that she did, which is actually really shitty.
And by that time, she knows of the story about
him. But they go to the spaceship and they meet up with Harlow and her mate. And they're like, oh no, sorry, the computer's broken still. Which, why was the computer broken? Do you remember? I don't think it was in this book.
Something happened. I forgot. I don't know if there was an attack. I can't remember. There's so many books. But something happened where because it was working at one point. Where it's broken right now. So I think she probably will eventually fix it. I can't remember. But it's not working at the moment.
So then Josie gets upset and she's like, pretty much like, okay, screw it. Let's just hook up. She's like, let's have a baby, which is another thing with Josie that kind of got me frustrated. I feel like it was a roller coaster of her being like, I hate him. I don't want to be with him, but I don't want to bring a child into this relationship. Oh wait, but I do want a child and I can raise it separately from him, which by the way, that would never work. And I don't think he would ever let that work. But she's like,
She's like, screw it. Let's just, I'm going to just hook up with
yeah.
him.
And so they go into a space room and he ends up releasing too soon.
Yeah, he was so excited that he released too soon, and then he was very embarrassed about it.
Yes.
And there was one of the misunderstandings.
Yep. And so she gets upset with him and she's like,
never mind, this, I shouldn't have even done this.
She storms out of the spaceship, out of the space room, and she's like, why isn't he even following me?
Yeah, she wants him to go after her, but he doesn't. And why doesn't he?
Because he can't figure out how to open the door.
Because he's a boomer like me, and he's just like, I don't get this electronic crap.
He's like, they're stuck for hours just hitting the door trying to get out.
So she thinks, because he's acting, I think he was acting kind of awkward, like maybe like he was upset. So she thought he was being mean again. So she's like, screw this, I'm leaving, whatever. But he was really just mortified and so embarrassed because he's never had sex and he's unexperienced, and he was so excited that she was finally gonna like hook up like with him that, you know, he came a little early. So she storms out, and then she's out there like, he's not even gonna come after me, I hate him, what a dick. And then meanwhile he's like, how do I get out?
He's like, how do I get? And then like he finds out like hours later, because he gets released from the door from Harlow.
Harlow's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, she's like, Josie already left like a while ago. Yeah. Haeden's like, oh shoot, like I'm gonna go find her, and he finds her that she's trying to go to the ocean.
Yeah, she decides to run away from her problems. She's like, screw this, I'm just gonna run away. Yeah. So she doesn't know, like he's always protected her. He's following her where she can't see him, but close enough where he can run at her if she needs protection. So days pass, possibly even a week or two. Yeah. And he's just following close behind, and she has no idea.
And also like the fact that he's like so proud of her.
Yeah.
Like every single time he's like, oh wow, she's so smart.
Yeah, because she's actually doing really good on her own. Like this tiny little, you know, human out in this like, you know, dangerous planet. Mm-hmm. And she ends up finding, and she doesn't realize what it is. She ends up finding a ship. And she realizes this is the ship that in a previous book crashed when she got abducted again by the bad aliens that came back looking for their cargo, which is the humans. And she crashes the ship in one of these books and is able to escape, and the aliens get killed. Yeah. But what Kira didn't realize is that there were pods in there.
Mm-hmm. And the pods is the woman.
Where the women are kept. Yeah. And so when Josie finds the cave, she realizes that's what it is. That it's not a cave, that it's actually a ship. And she goes in there, she sees the pods. Some of them look like they're broken and open, which kind of concerns her, maybe that there were humans that died. And then there's two that look like they're good and like they have a green light, like there's a human in there. When this is happening, I think this is when she hears noises, and she comes out and notices this tall blue figure and realizes that it's Haeden. And he's being attacked by, what are those creatures called?
Meerkats?
Is that what they're called?
Meerkats? I don't know if that's what they're called. I didn't write that note down.
I think that's a human thing.
Wait, no. Wait, is that actually a human thing?
I think a meerkat is like a human. Wait. I think they're called something else.
Spell that right.
So there's this other ugly sounding creature that lives there, and they're a little bit like, I guess, savage. Mm-hmm. And they're very dangerous. Like if there's like one, usually there's like a bunch of them. Yeah. And he's being attacked. Morgan's trying to find out what they're called. We can't remember.
I'm like trying to find.
But Haeden is being attacked by them, and she sees this. She wants to go help, but she doesn't really have any weapons or anything like that. One of the things that led her to the ship was there was like a red flashing light. So that red flashing light, it's extremely hot to the touch. She decides to get some fabric or something that she had found in the ship, and she puts her hand towards it trying to start a fire. She remembers in the past that they're afraid of fire. Mm-hmm. So she has her hand on the light. It's burning her hand, but she does not care. And she gets this fabric on fire, runs towards Haeden while her hands are burning, and it's enough to finally scare them off. Yeah. So she saves them.
Okay, I found it. It's not meerkats.
What are they called?
It was metlax.
Metlax, yeah. That's what they're called.
Okay.
Yeah, metlax. But yeah, metlax, I think when they describe them, they're like these very tall, lanky creatures that have, I think they have like huge insect-looking eyes.
Ew.
Yeah, and they're just like very like savage.
Okay,
like,
well, so someone drew a picture of what a baby metlax looked like.
Let me see.
Ready for it?
Yeah.
I would hug it.
Oh my God, that is adorable. That is okay. That's not what I imagined when they described it. That's adorable.
I want to put a picture of this on our Instagram so you can see it.
That is really cute.
That's
it's
really
like
cute.
Star Wars, like the
Yeah.
little.
I would hug it. I would be murdered right away.
Maybe it's just the parents.
The parents
are
are
ugly.
disgusting. Yeah.
That's
So she saves him.
She saves him, and then that's when their little adventure together starts. Where they're getting to know each other and just trying to survive and get back home so that they can get more hunters to come to release the humans.
Can I say one of my other favorite parts though that happens? Okay, so one of my favorite parts is when she's trying to flirt with him and trying to get something going. She blinks and he goes, "Is there something in your eye?"
Oh yeah, she's like trying to bat her eyelashes at him.
Because she's like, "You saved me," wink. And then he's like, "Is there something wrong with your eye?"
Yeah, they don't pick up on human flirting. They're like,
but they end up getting together and they end up whatever. And
well, remember what she does, because her hands, she can't use them.
Oh,
she decides maybe I should have him help me take a bath or shower. Which then it starts getting.
You're like,
Yeah.
sure, yes. You can't use your hands. So they decided after that they're gonna go back to the tribe because there's these two women that need to save.
The reason that they don't take the two humans out of the pods are because they don't have the cootie, so and it's only two of them, so it's too much for them to make such a horrendous trip. And in order to get the cooties, you have to kill this huge mammoth-like alien creature. You actually have to send out a hunting party of experienced hunters to kill, I forgot what it's called, but to kill this animal to get the cooties out of it.
Which is basically like a worm. Yeah,
like these little worm parasites. So they actually have to head back to then send people back out to get the humans. So that's their mission.
Yeah. So while going there, she actually ends up getting eaten by a sky claw. Yes. So he's very much I need to go, I need to walk, we need to hurry up. Because he was worried that the Metlax were coming back and he was worried about
they usually do.
Yeah, so he was rushing up.
And he's so protective over her, but he just has a moment of
he's just in his head.
In his head booking it, and then she's
behind him.
She's behind him. She tries to call for him because she sees a shadow. That part freaked me out.
Did it?
Yeah, this big, what are they called?
Sky claws?
Sky claw.
Which
is a huge bird pterodactyl thing.
Yeah.
Swoops down and swallows her whole, and he sees it running after it, and it's flying away, and there's no way he can catch up, and he's about to.
He's death. He's like,
that's it. He's like, I can't live without this woman. This is not happening to me again. He's just I just can't. He already has the knife pulled out. He's about to off himself.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he sees that the bird, it's
falling down,
starting to fall down.
Yeah.
It's flying, it's a little erratic or whatever. Meanwhile, Josie's survivor ass is in there with a knife. Yeah. With a knife, just going what's the Guardians of the Galaxy? Just which would be me. I'll be like, not today, mofo, not today. She's just sitting there going to town with a knife. It works. She kills the sky claw and crashes. And when he gets to it, he doesn't realize that it's her that did it, and he's just super pissed off. You killed her. So before he kills himself, he just wants to
kill the bird.
Just the bird's already dead, but he just wants to kill it some more and stab it and go nuts. And when he's stabbing at it and going nuts, I believe he sees movement in his stomach or something like that.
He sees a tooth. He thought it was a tooth coming out of the stomach.
Yeah, a tooth or something coming out, movement, and then finally she's able to squeeze her little human hand out. And when he sees her hand, he realizes, oh my God, she's still alive.
Yeah.
And he starts cutting and he gets her out, and she's actually completely fine.
Yeah.
Traumatized,
yeah.
Traumatized as hell, but in one piece. So that part, oh my gosh.
I know. That was probably my favorite part though, because you could tell how much protective he is and how much listen, real life Morgan and Book Morgan are two different type of people, okay? Real life Morgan, if a guy was like, I thought you died, so I was gonna myself, I'd be like, that's a red flag. You need therapy. Book Morgan is like, oh my God, that's so romantic. Why can't a man do that for me? He's like, I don't want you away from me. I want you close by. Yeah. So he decides to come up with this whole.
Oh, wait. Before you talk about the whole baby backpack, I don't know if you remember, where they're in the cave. It's really funny because now she is ready. She wants to hook up with him and everything.
Oh, he doesn't.
No, it's not that he doesn't. He's so like traumatized from seeing her being swallowed by a bird.
I mean, who wouldn't?
That he just thinks that she's so fragile, and he's just like babying her, and he doesn't want to hurt her. And then like finally she basically has to spell it out for him. Like I forgot how she words it, but she's pretty much like, stick it in.
Oh yeah.
And then he was like, well, I don't want to, hurt you or blah blah blah. And she was like, look how many like humans are with Sakui, and they seem completely like, like, don't flatter yourself.
Yeah.
Like, I'll be fine. I'll be fine. So then like you were saying, let them know about the contraption.
Oh my god. So afterwards he's like, I am so scared of you being taken by the sky claw again. So he's like, I have a smart idea. So he makes a baby carrier, like think about front area baby carrier. And so he makes it, and she's like at first like, what are you even on? But somehow he talks her into getting into it. But the way that she is against him, they're rubbing up against each other, and she gets
aroused.
Yes.
And according to the book, out of all the humans and stuff, she has the most loudest cootie.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know if you remember that. I caught on to that. So I'm assuming that means probably that she's the horniest.
Oh my god.
That her cootie is like crazy loud.
Yeah.
So he hears it. And then he can sense that she's aroused. So then he decides, can just,
untie myself
real quick. She can kind of untie herself. We can just keep on trucking because we got somewhere to go.
Listen, they are having
sex
while walking.
While walking, and the momentum of them walking is basically moving for them. I thought it was a genius idea.
I'm screaming over here.
Saying.
I'm literally screaming over here. I am traumatized.
You're just traumatized because both of us are under 5'2", and you were like, I'm just kidding.
Oh my gosh. See, like, it's funny enough because, like, I feel like people who listen to my podcast may not know this, or maybe they do. I don't really read a lot of spicy books.
Yeah.
So, but when I have to read it, I'm like, my face is so red. I was literally, like, reading a smexy part, and my dog, Marley, was in the room. I was like, Marley, you have to get out. Marley, you have to get out of the room.
Yeah. So I won't say where or anything like that, but we work together. We're work besties. But she, whenever she's listening to a book at work and it's a spicy moment, I can always tell because her face will turn beet red. She will drop things on the floor. She'll just be flustered and like a nervous giggle, and I'm like, what are you listening to?
I also be like, don't look at me.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you do that. Like so you don't even let Marley, her dog, look at her.
No.
She's like, Marley, don't look at me.
One time I was listening to a book and there was a spicy part, and our boss started talking to me, and I was like, I was like, stop talking to me. And I was like trying to pause it in my ear, and when it paused, it just got louder. I'm like, oh my god, stop.
He's probably like, here, look at these pictures of these birds I took, and you're like, stop it.
Don't look at me. So they actually make it back to the village, and they tell the leader what happened and about the sky claw. So they don't want any females to go after these girls, but they kind of decide to let one human being go, mostly because of the fact that if these girls who are in the pods wake up to see a bunch of blue aliens, it would scare them.
But then on top of that, the Sakui, just like Haeden couldn't get out of that spaceship, they will not be able to figure out how to release them from the pods. The human that ends up going is Kira, because she has a lot of anxiety and she's very worried that when she crashed the ship,
because she's the reason why the ship's there.
Yeah, she's the reason the ship crashed and why it's there, and she just feels super guilty and horrible that she didn't pay attention and like look around and notice that there were pods. So she's scared that maybe there's some humans that are dead. So she's the one that ends up going, and then her mate, when they're about to leave, her mate decides to just like tie a rope around her in case the Skyclaw tries to get her. And then Josie realizes that Haeden could have just easily done that as well.
Yeah.
And she was like, why did he want to be strapped up to Haeden does get volunteered to go because he's seen the ship. He knows where it's at. So he goes and he has to leave behind Josie, which Josie does not like.
But it's super cute because, like, on the way there, you get his point of view. And on the way there, you can tell how much he's like, just come on, let's go. Like, I want to get back.
He's rushing everyone, like, come on, let's get moving.
Yeah.
Because he wants to hurry up and get to Josie. Then Josie realizes while she's waiting, because, they go on feet. Like, this is like these are long trips. She realizes
she's pregnant
because she hasn't gotten her period for a couple months. So she can't wait to tell him. They get back to the cave and she realizes, because nobody was like around in the cave. Josie was there with the baby and stuff. And she's like, where's everybody at? One of the girls, one of the Saqui females, I forgot her name, she's like 13.
Farley?
Folly. She's like, didn't you hear? And then as soon as she said that, she felt her qui
go.
Like purr.
Yeah.
So she knew. So she ran out and she sees figures at the top of the hill or whatever, and she sees that one of them's Haeden, and then sees that another figure like that puts down the furs, it's a woman, which is Maddie, and she's super pissed off and yelling, and then she goes over and Haeden sees her and puts a hand up, and everybody like kind of shuts up, and he runs towards
it's so cute.
And then she even said like she felt like there should have been like romantic music played in the background
because
like,
he just wanted to see her.
Yeah, he just ran towards her, and Josie was like or Maddie was like, where the heck is he going? Because she's all pissed off, and he just ignores her.
He's like bye.
And then the other guys are giggling, and they're like, he has residents to take care of. And he like carries her off. And then what's so funny and cute is he's trying to tell Josie what's going on.
Yeah.
And she doesn't even care.
She's like,
she's just like, let's just make out. Just kiss me. I've missed you so much. She tells him that she's about to have a baby. Like,
and he's so excited.
He's so happy. And he's like, that, how does he word it? It's so romantic. He said something like, everything he's always wanted.
Yeah.
But the way he words it, it's almost like insinuating like his first thing that
didn't matter
is her.
Yeah.
Like, even if she couldn't bear children, he doesn't even care. That's who he wants.
Yeah.
Her. Just the fact that she can have babies and she's having a baby, he's just like,
he's in the moon about it.
Yeah, so it ends really
cute.
Yeah, really, really cute.
I like the book. I felt like it was really cute. And I like that, like, even though there was some smashy parts in it, I do like the fact that the romance was really good in it.
Yeah,
I like the
really
slow
good.
burn. And, I think that don't judge a book by its cover.
Spicy
book.
Cover.
I mean, you can easily skip past the spicy parts.
No, but do you see how it ends in a cliffhanger with Maddie and her sister? So that's why it was so hard for me every time I would finish a book. Cliffhanger, like new possible hookups.
So you had to know.
I had to. Like, now when I get to the 13th book, I'm going to have to re-listen to the 12th to, like, remember what it was about so that I can lead into the,
Before we end this, I do have something to give you. Close your eyes.
Okay.
Let me back out. Hold it. Let me back out. I'm gonna. Oh my god! Get wheel out. Hold it. I'm stuck.
Oh, I'm excited.
So here's your thank you for coming on the podcast gift.
It's Barbarian's prize.
Yeah.
By Ruby Dixon. How did you know?
How did I know? How did I know? I've gotten you every single book. I actually put stickers in there too.
Oh, thank you, Morgan.
I would give you a podcast sticker, but I already gave you a bunch.
Yeah. Oh no, this is perfect.
But so I have literally gotten you every single. I feel like every single one.
Yeah, every time the new one, because the old
covers they're not pretty.
Yeah, they're kind of ugly. The new covers are beautiful.
Yes,
because you even admitted, like, they're really pretty.
They are really pretty. So I got you the new cover of the Barbarian prize. I would have gotten you the other one. I was literally, you want to know how? Okay, so
That's Tiffany.
That is Tiffany. We talked about this. Yeah. So I've gotten her every single one except Liz, because I think you bought Liz one when we went to Barnes & Noble together.
One on my own.
So we were talking about the books. I was showing her Josie has a new cover, and she was like, "You were telling me, you're like, oh yeah, I only have this one. I don't have that one." And I was like, "Oh shoot," because I had already came in.
Oh, okay.
And so I was like, shoot, I have to get her that one too, because that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So I went on Amazon, I went to go order the other one. It said I had already ordered it. I'm like, this dumb.
This slime mofo.
Like, I did buy for her.
That's what you showed that to her? Yeah, she was like, just so you know, you do have this book. I ordered it, look, because I wouldn't have ordered this for anyone else.
Yes, exactly. And also on top of that, I had it on my bookshelf, and I forgot to move it when you came up.
Yeah, I didn't even notice.
So you were like looking at my books, and I stood right in front of the bookshelf. I was like,
that's why you stood there? I was like, why is she being weird?
Like, you don't see anything over here. Oh my, like, nothing odd. Okay. If you guys are curious, next week I'm going to be having on another special guest who I'm so excited to have on again. We're going to be having on Trina, aka Crack the Spine, who was on before last year. We reviewed Hotel Horror, which was such a fun, kind of scary book. But she's on this time around, and we're going to be reading a book called The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager. It actually takes place in Vermont, which may or may not be the reason why I wanted to read the book in the first place, because I'm from Vermont. But this book follows Casey, who is a recently widowed actress who takes refuge in her Vermont lake house, where she likes to spy on her neighbor, because that's not creepy at all. There she meets Tom and Catherine Royce, a glamorous couple who lives in the house across the lake. One day, Casey saves Catherine from drowning, and the two strike up a friendship. The longer she spies on the couple, the more apparent it becomes that their marriage is broken. When Catherine suddenly vanishes, Casey becomes consumed with finding out what happened to her. This is a mystery thriller adult novel, and I'm so excited to have Trina on again. It's going to be such a fun episode. Is it hailing?
It's hailing.
Oh my god, is it hailing? Shut
I
up.
haven't seen hail in years. I'm spending the night.
The Lord, Jesus doesn't like the fact we did the spicy
Oh my
bug.
god, yeah, the sky is falling.
Oh my god. Okay, so I hope you guys have a great Sunday, and I will definitely see you guys next week. And it is really hailing outside.
It is.
I don't know if you guys can hear it. Why?
I'm sure they could hear that. Look at it.
Why is it
It's
like
that
that?
big, like dime-sized hail.
Why is it like
I
that?
don't know.
Okay, anyway,
Hopefully we're still around.
if not, I'd be glad you read that spicy book.
Yep.